YouTube for the first time, finally. We tried using Facebook Live a couple weeks ago, and it was a horrible nightmare. So thrilled to be coming at you live from our YouTube page. April Wilcox from InterroBang Compass Travel is going to join me in about 15 minutes. And I'm really excited. So I'm just going to hang here. I'm going to let the live sit. I'm happy to answer questions if anybody's got one already. I want to see all my chat. But so I'm here hanging out with you on a Wednesday. Happy hump day. Ready whenever you are to talk all things International Pub Crawl Cruise featuring the Sirens. I'm very excited. Let me just tell the rest of the girls that I'm live if they want to come hang out. Hope everybody's been having a good Wednesday. There we go. I'm going to talk very briefly until April gets here, but I am going to say that I am like crazy excited for this cruise. I'll be real. We've done some cruises in the past. We've done cruises with different owners. We have not worked with April before on a cruise, so we're really excited about that. But we've done other cruises before, and I didn't always have a great time. For a wide variety of reasons. To be honest with you, I don't like to identify as like a type A personality person, but I do like to plan stuff. I'm a planner. I'm a recovering teacher, so we like to plan things ahead. You know what I mean? So the need to like plan things has really been filled by this cruise opportunity. So while our past cruise experiences have been different, we've had a bunch of different kinds of experiences on cruises. I think this one's going to be different. I think it's going to be a really, really good time, and it's because we get to plan everything. So having ownership over a cruise like this is a really, really big opportunity for us, and we're really excited. And we're honestly just really grateful to April for even trusting us with that, because not everybody would be brave enough to let the Sirens lead a pub crawl cruise for them. So we're very flattered, and we're very excited to work with April. So I don't want to give too much away. When we went live on Facebook a couple weeks ago, we talked about the schedule that we've put together, which is obviously not set in stone. Things depend on Carnival Cruises, and they get the final call on some things, but not everything. So we'll talk about that in a little bit when April gets here. But so I don't want to spoil too much and like spill the whole thing before she even gets here. But we have a lot of really good new things planned. And we also have some returning favorite events from our past cruise experiences. If you've traveled with us, maybe you've done trivia with Bunny before. It would feel wrong to not do trivia with Bunny. So that's definitely coming back. If you bought a mermaid tail or you've been considering it, we'd like to encourage you to do that. I didn't realize how much it was going to heal a little part of my inner child to purchase a mermaid tail, but I highly recommend the experience for everybody. What else? I saw that my madam is here. There she is. Yeah, looking forward to Madam's Pub Crawl. We'll talk about that in a little bit too, because I want to hear if April's been to Nassau before. I haven't, but Bunny keeps calling it the. Oh, thank you. I did go put a Magpie shirt on. Bunny keeps calling it the pirate capital of the world. So the fact that we're going to be tromping around in pirate outfits and doing a pub crawl in pirate land, like official pirate land, it's pretty cool. And since it's November, it's not going to be 8,000 degrees. So you'll actually be able to wear, your pirate stuff. Obviously, it'll be warm. It's a tropical vacation. We're going to the Bahamas. But it's not going to be like, a Renaissance festival in the Midwest in July kind of hot. You know what I mean? It's accessible hot. So It's gonna be it's gonna be a grand old time. So thank you. Yes, I did put a little Magpie shirt on. How do I get the chat to stay up there? There we go. Oh, do I have to tap it? Ooh. Ooh. Guess what, madam? I just made you a moderator because God forbid somebody joins our live and starts saying, I mean, who knows? We're on YouTube live. We could literally get anybody up in here. So if you see anything, madam, you now have the right to boot them or delete their chat. So that's kind of fun. I just realized I could do that, which is nice. But thanks for hanging out with me on your Wednesday evening. It's hump day, et cetera, et cetera. Um, thank you. Oh yeah, and look, you have a little wrench next to your name now when you come up. That's awesome. Um, like I said, we did one of these a couple weeks ago on Facebook, and it did not go well because Facebook Live is trash garbage and a horrible piece of software. So we're doing YouTube Live for this question and answer, and then I think what I'd like to do next, I'd love to put like a Zoom together for everybody who is already signed up for the cruise, so that we can kind of get to know each other. I think a lot of us probably do already know each other, but just in case. Um, Plus, if you are a one person and you're looking for a roommate, that would be a great opportunity for you to possibly hook up with a roommate. When April gets on here, I am going to ask her about. I made a list. I did make a list. There it is. I am going to ask her about how much it might cost you if you wanted to travel alone. It's very possible. It all depends on your budget, but like I said, we designed this with our shadies in mind, and we know not everybody's budget is huge. So like the cheapest way for you to do this is an indoor room that you share with somebody else. But you can get a room all to your lonesome if you feel so inclined. If you don't want to share and you don't want a roommate, that's totally fine. It's your vacation. You don't have to. So we'll talk to April about that. But if you're looking for a roommate, if the cruise is not attainable for you on your lonesome, but it might be attainable for you with a roommate, then we'll put a Zoom together and you guys can meet each other. Um, ooh, madam, do you think you could? Do you think you could comment the link like to the Google form thing that people sign up on? Because then I can pin that comment so people can see it. YouTube Live is so much better than Facebook Live. I do have. I have a little thing for the Sirens as well. I have to remind them something. When April gets here, I'm also going to make her talk about our incredibly gorgeous hotel. Obviously, you don't have to stay in the cruise resort hotel. Like I said, I'm a recovering educator. And when I was teaching and I would go to professional conferences, they were always held at like, oh, the fancy convention center at whatever city this was in. And then you were supposed to stay in like that fancy hotel that's part of the convention center. I never did that because I never worked at a school that had the money to pay for that hotel. I never worked for a school that even offered to pay for my hotel. I always had to cover my own hotel and travel and stuff like that. So I was always staying at like the Days Inn 10 minutes away instead of the fancy conference hotel. If you want to do that too, we can make that work for you as well. We're like I said, it's built with you in mind. The whole thing is that we want to make this more attainable for people. We know that our last couple adventures with other cruise companies have not been as attainable either like schedule wise because they were 5 to 7 days long or 6 to 7 days long. Weren't attainable like financially because they were more expensive than this one. To be real with you, we planned this one to be more affordable than the last ones we went on. I lost my train of thought because Justin made me laugh. Yes, recovering educator. I stole that from my mother, who refers to herself as a recovering Catholic. So yes, I am an educator in recovery. Similarly to purchasing a mermaid tail that healed a little part of me, so did becoming a substitute teacher. It made me learn to love teaching again. So I'm a teacher in recovery now. Highly recommend substitute teaching. I'm going to get all the Sirens in on it. It's a great gig. So save up all your questions. Don't throw them at me yet. I'll make I'll continue to add them to my list. If you've got a question, but I've got a pretty good little list for us to go through with April. April's a experienced traveler. She's been on way more cruises than I have. She does own a travel agency, so makes sense. But she is the pro. She's got all the answers. If you've messaged me in the last like couple of weeks asking me something about the cruise, I just went straight to April. I probably didn't know the answer unless it was about the schedule or about like your mermaid tail. I probably didn't know the answer. I went straight to April. She is our expert. She's been just like truly awesome to work with already. She's been so easy to communicate. I can't even express to you what a gift it is to work with somebody else who appreciates a spreadsheet as much as me and Madam do. like Madam loves an itinerary spreadsheet. I just love the entire Google suite in general. So to get a Google sheet, like a spreadsheet from April within like 2 days of getting this organized, I was like, this is gonna be a good trip. This is gonna be a good one. It's the little things, you know what I mean? It's the little things. So what else do we need to talk about? Did you notice I set up some pictures back here? I frantically cleaned off this. I will show you what I left off of this. I've been collecting all of my broken strings. This is not even close to all of them. Oh, shucks. But they were all just sitting on this table back here, and I realized it made me look like a psychopath. Like I don't know. It kind of makes me look like I'm one of those people that steals like copper tubing and wiring and stuff out of houses. You know what I mean? So I did set up some cruise pictures behind me, and I put up the pictures of the Sirens from Yuletide just because I think this one's adorable. Everybody look how cute we are with Santa. So cute. But then I have some pictures of me and Mr. Bucket on the cruise as well. This one's a personal favorite. I'm going to show you our let me show you this one from a pirate night on one of the cruises. I like to see Mr. Bucket as a pirate. So I am one of those people. I'm a sucker and I don't care. I will do pictures on a Carnival cruise. If one of those adorable picture takers waves me over and says, "Oh, look how beautiful you are. Let me take a picture." Sure. Absolutely. I will happily pose. I'll probably pay for them too. I'll probably buy them. They're just too fun. If you get on our website, there are a couple really cute ones from the last cruise we were on. Though you didn't know it at the time, there were way more Sirens on that cruise than were advertised. There were 3 performing Sirens, and then Ember, Snowflake, Starla, and Phoebe were also all on that last cruise with us as well. It was a very Siren heavy trip. So there's lots of really cute pictures of us on our website from that one as well. If you get on our website, which is thesingingsirens.com or the-sirens.com, then you'll also find a page that's about the pub crawl. April's here. Look. There she is.
Can you
Hey,
hear
April.
me?
I
Yes.
can.
All right, good.
I like your hat.
Well, thank you, Deco.
Much fancier than mine. I don't even know where hang on, let me get my pirate hat. Wait. There we go. Now we're doing it. How are you?
I am doing great.
Good. I've been sitting here chatting for a little bit, just kind of seeing what everybody's doing.
Awesome. Now, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to keep this thing on.
I'm not either. It's going to be too hot.
No, this thing is actually very heavy. It
Oh,
probably
that makes
weighs about
sense.
8 pounds.
Oh my God. Mine is a crushable felt hat I bought as a cowboy hat, and then I just sewed a sparkly thing on it and turned it into a cavalier hat.
It works great.
It's awesome because I can squish it and it doesn't, nothing bad happens to it. So It's the best.
Yeah,
It'll definitely be
this
on the
is
boat
one of
with
those
us.
ones that you have to have one of those fancy boxes that seal,
Mhm.
so it adds an extra piece of luggage when I travel.
I will say, when we got on our most recent cruise, Starla brought a hat box, and I did immediately ask her where she got it because I immediately wanted one. So while it is an annoying extra piece of luggage, it is so cool just to have a hat
I
box.
know,
It's
I
such a
mean,
like
because
fancy
you can
thing.
actually put other things in there. I learned that I can store some of the jewelry in the bottom,
Oh yeah.
and, there's because the jewelry I put in there is strictly, you know, the costume jewelry.
Mhm. That gave
And,
me an idea though. When we get closer to the cruise, I'm going to make you show everybody how to pack all their stuff because you're a pro.
I've had a few things. I've actually came across an item that I love on Amazon. They're inexpensive enough so that when it breaks, I can buy another one and I don't feel bad. And it's
It's the only way to
actually
go.
a wedding dress bag.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a wedding dress bag that it folds up and then you zip the sides and the bottom of it so it turns into a suitcase.
that's too cool.
So it contains everything. We can actually put Randy's boots, his pirate boots in there. Um, we can put both of our pirate garb, and
Wow.
I could throw a couple of corsets down in the bottom, and you just roll the thing up and zip it up, and it's the best thing ever.
Bria, we'll have to make a little like Amazon cruise list or something. Because
The big
there's
the
also all
big
those
thing I
little
always tell
things.
everybody is, even though you don't think you're going to be seasick, bring some patches just in case and candy.
Yeah.
Comes in
I feel
really
like if you
handy.
don't prepare for it, you're gonna need them. But if you do bring them, then you're not gonna need them.
Exactly.
And I'd rather be on that side of it. So, in case you haven't met April before, this is the lovely April Wilcox of InterroBang Compass Travel.
Or
We've
AKA, I'm also known as Nova Time.
we've had the pleasure of working with April before, but never fully on a cruise like this. So we're really, really excited already. Like I was bragging about you before you got on about how easy you've been to work with
Thank
and how
you. You know I
organized.
love you guys.
You got good taste, April. So I'm gonna try and pay attention to questions coming in. Try being like the operative word. I can't make any promises. But Carrie, Madam, is also in here so she can help with anything if we miss it.
Okay.
Uh,
That sounds
Um,
good.
but I figured, is there anything like that you really wanted to start out with, or I have like a little checklist.
Um, well, the big thing is, even though it's a pub crawl, it doesn't mean you have to drink. The idea for this one is to come have a fun, come have an adventure, do something for yourself before you get bogged down for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why I kind of set it just before Thanksgiving, and it's, a little after Halloween. And it's mainly for, some of us adults to go get away and have some fun before we have to be serious for
Mm-hmm.
a little
Before you have to
bit
buckle
and
down and do
buckle down for
family
the
stuff for the
holidays,
holidays. And
deal with the holiday shoppers and the traffic getting horrible because everybody's, at the store, and you're just there to go buy one thing and you're stuck
yes,
in line forever. Granted, a majority of us are starting to shop more online
yes,
since COVID. And but the idea is for us to just go have some fun. Um, go see some things you haven't seen, or go try out something else, like I know you Sirens haven't been to the Bahamas, you've
I
gone
haven't at
strict.
least.
Okay, because you guys have gone out of Miami and New Orleans the last couple of times. Um, so Bahamas is different. They're fun. The beaches are cool. The thing that's nice about Nassau, it's like when you get out of port, it's like you just walk through a gate section from the port and you have all the shopping. You have pubs close by, restaurants. And there's a couple of them that it's like they're unique. Um, there's a couple little mom and pop restaurants on top of stores in Nassau, and oh my God, the food, okay, it is the bomb. And then the other thing I think I will go over, and I know this is because you and I both have some
Yeah.
allergies. We actually will take some time, and for anyone that has a food allergy or sensitivity, we actually will go to the dining room. I know on the buffet area on Carnival, they have what they call Menu Mate. Well, Menu Mate is designed to help us find things on the buffet.
Yeah.
That is it. When it comes to the dining room, we actually have to pre-register in the dining room. And when we do on Embarkation Day, they actually have us go ahead and pre-order our dinner.
Hmm.
And then for any of those with the sensitivities, we order that night after we're done with dinner so that that way, they don't have cross contamination. Um, I will let you guys know if anyone has a sensitivity to any type of nut, um, we need to stress that you have to go because on the cruise lines, a lot of them have gone to coconut oil for frying.
Oh,
And so that's a no-no for me because I am
yeah.
highly allergic to coconuts. So they actually, if there's anything that they have to fry or do like that, they actually have to put it in a separate fryer that has a canola-based oil.
But they will do that for you.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Cool. So it's
And
not like fried foods are just eliminated from your diet for the week. That's
no,
great.
it's not, which is nice. I mean, you splurge.
It's
Um,
vacation. I want to be
it's
able to eat fried
vacation.
stuff.
Although I have to be careful because this is my job now.
Yeah. Yeah. The Sirens also
And
walk
I
that
mean, when
line of
Randy and
like,
I used to cruise like once or twice a year, it was okay because we'd go walk laps up on the athletic deck. And then we'd go down and go grab an ice cream
mhm.
and then go do something on the boat that was kind of fun. And then we go back and get another ice cream because some of them were summertime things and it was
Mhm.
like hot.
Yeah.
Um, if you're prepared to travel in the summer, it's great, but in the Caribbean, I don't suggest it.
Too hot.
Um, we just did the concept cruise for Sea Haunt in May, and we did go out of New Orleans for that one. And our first stop was actually Jamaica.
Oh.
It was 95 degrees at
Oh
nine
my
o'clock in the
gosh.
morning, no wind, and not a cloud in the sky. It was hot. I mean, when you only look around at the little shops in the port and decide to go back, it's pretty hot.
Yeah. That's enough of an excursion.
Yeah, that was it. Okay, good. I
Yeah.
I'll catch it in the winter time,
Yes. Yeah.
and
November
then,
is like perfect time for us to travel.
yes. Truthfully, it is for cruising, if you're doing anything Caribbean, Bahamas, that January and February time is great, and into the early part of March, but then you have to be careful because then you're gonna hit spring break for the colleges,
Yep.
um, because the temperatures aren't as hot in that time. November, December is actually pretty good too. So those are some of the other times when we cruise for any of our big groups. But that's
Yeah.
that's pretty much it.
I don't have anything against children, obviously, as a former teacher, but like it is nice to know we're going to be on the boat the week before Thanksgiving. So it's like it would be pretty hard to get your kids out of school the week that we're going to be on the boat. You know what I mean? I don't think there'll be a
I
ton of
mean, we'll
kids on
we'll see
board.
some.
Yeah.
We'll see some because a lot of the Florida schools actually go Monday and Tuesday,
Mhm.
and then they're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is kind of
Right.
nice. And speaking of children on cruise ships, I love kids, but when you're wearing a velvet gown and someone touches you with ice cream.
Ooh,
Mommy,
because it
mommy, I
looks
want to
so
take a
pretty.
picture with the pretty dress on this lady.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you know, the Ring Cruise is actually going to a luxury cruise line that is more adults
Yes.
for that reason.
Yeah. Though I will say, because we were talking about we want this one to be a little like treat yourself before the holidays. So I do want to reiterate with people that like we don't expect you to bring every single Renaissance festival costume you have. Like
No,
that's not the
please
cruise that
don't.
we're
Don't,
going on.
don't kill yourself to do that.
Yeah,
No.
that's not what
I
we're
mean,
aiming for.
even for me, it's like I'll have like bare bones basics,
We might go
completely
hard for
bare.
the pirate stuff because it's Nassau and it's like, you know what I mean? It's really, really fun to wear your pirate
uh,
stuff, but I'm gonna bring my short skirt, not my long ones.
No, I actually have a summer one that I use when I go to Georgia.
Nice.
And granted, my pirate garb is actually antique silk, so it's great, but
Ooh.
the undershirt is not. And that and wearing a corset, yeah, forget it. I ain't
Yeah.
wearing a corset. We're gonna enjoy.
Yes.
Besides,
Yeah,
if
we
you wear
want
a
this.
corset, you can't eat much.
It's true. You can't drink that much either. Let
This
me
is
assure
true.
you. It's hard to get if you drink anything bubbly, it's hard to get it in there if your corset's laced a little
Oh
too
my God,
tight.
yeah, because it causes so much gas when you're wearing a corset. It's
It's
ridiculous.
tough. Yeah. Yep.
But now I actually found what they call it's kind of like a mock corset, and it's actually one that you unstring it from the front and you put it on you, and then you lace it up and tie it,
Nice.
and you're good to go, and it's not tight.
Madam and Bunny got new ones from this company called Scarlet Darkness, and I think maybe that's the move. Is they're not like the one I wear is like I don't need to be wearing a corset this intensive, but it is, and I would like to get
No,
one that's a little more relaxed, a little more chill for this
look
one.
on Etsy.
Yeah, lots of good
I
stuff
might
there
have to send
too.
you the. I'll have to look for it and send you the link. They have a couple of them that they'll do plain, and they can embroider, like different things on them,
Cool.
and they're really cheap and they're comfortable because it's a cotton material,
Nice. So
but
it
yet it still
breathes.
gives you that look of a corset without being
Unable
bound.
to breathe.
Yeah, without being bound.
Yeah. Yeah. So we don't want this one to be, you don't feel like you need to load every single corset into your suitcase. And like one of the evenings we picked, the theme is just like, wear your favorite Renaissance Festival shirt, whether it's like a Siren shirt or a Ren Cruise shirt, or if it's like whatever your other favorite band is, just because they're not there doesn't mean you can't wear it. Or if you have a cool shirt from Asheville Viking Festival or something, like whatever you
Yep.
want to wear. We're trying to keep it low key.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, I mean, the whole idea is relax, have some fun, but yeah, pirate garb, like I said, I found a basic dress that I'll wear and probably just a simple corset, my little cotton corset so that it's nice and easy,
yeah.
and maybe some sandals. I'm not
Hmm.
even gonna worry about boots.
Yeah, me neither. I don't bring boots on a boat. No way. If I
I've done
if
it a
a
couple of times, but then I end up going back to the room and taking them off.
yeah, there's just no way. It's too hot
Long
for
enough for
them.
pictures.
Yes, exactly. Do you want to tell people a little bit about the hotel? I don't really know much about where we're staying, but it looks gorgeous, and that's pretty much all I know.
That's fine, that's fine. Radisson Resort is actually a resort environment. I did get the final, like I talked to you last week, the final contract in, and we were hoping to get our breakfasts as complimentary. Unfortunately, they're not. They said that when they went to a resort environment with a full-blown restaurant on the premises,
Oh,
yeah.
they don't do
So,
continental anymore. I see.
yeah, it's not continental anymore and complimentary, and I apologize. But it's $22 for breakfast plus, you know, the few of you that have traveled and done these cruises, it's $25 a day to park at port.
Hmm.
The hotel only charges 13. Okay. So they actually have a long-term parking lot that, like, they say it's like within a half a mile of the actual cruise ports, and the hotel has shuttle buses for
That's what
a
I was
shuttle
just gonna
bus, so
ask.
that way we don't have to worry about it. We just load our luggage and we all get on the, it'll take a couple of trips because, of
Yeah.
course, we all register for different times of loading based on what Carnival has. But we have pretty much everything at our disposal. The restaurant, we have a bar. The pool area is gorgeous.
Mhm.
Okay. And there are other activities to do. There are other restaurants and things right there on the little strip of Port Canaveral that you can actually go to. And if you want to venture out and Uber into the main part of like Cocoa or Melbourne, it's only a short 10-15 minute drive.
Oh, that's not bad at
Um,
all.
no, it's not. I mean, even Merritt Island is part of that whole strip as well. And the beaches are really nice. There's some uniqueness around the area. Uh, there's actually I have to look it up, but there is a pirate museum in the area.
Ah, I love museums, April. Everybody makes fun of me because on every siren trip that we go places, I always end up at a museum, like every time.
No, that's okay, but
That's
no,
awesome.
there is an actual pirate museum in the area. I'll have to look it up for you because
Please.
we could always come back and do another thing since we want to go over some of the things and how to pack and what you really should bring and what you shouldn't bring.
Yeah.
Um, and but that's going to be for another time. But yeah, I mean there's a pirate museum that's not that far from Port Canaveral, and if it's something that people want to do, they can actually take an Uber to it. Or if there's a big enough group, we might be able to call and get like a taxi service or like a shuttle bus to get
Hmm.
more of us to go. Um, so, there are things to do. You're not just going to be stuck in a hotel room.
No. We're planning, we would love to do like a little, like a mini crawl that day too. If we've got cruisers ready to go and ready to start the party a little early, the sirens are
Oh yeah,
planning to
I mean,
do.
because there's other restaurants too besides
Yeah.
the hotel with little bars built into them. So there are other things that we can go and do outside of the hotel resort itself.
Hmm. And then crash back at the glorious pool. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's our plan,
The
is to
the
do a
thing
little
that's
pub crawl.
nice is you can actually walk to a lot of it too
Hmm.
because of where the location of the hotel is for a lot of things that you like if you want to go hit another restaurant. A lot of times it might just be a block or 2 blocks away. You could walk to it if you wanted to.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
Um, and then the other thing is I've learned when you get into the hotel, and it's like, "Hey, what's your favorite place to eat that's close by?" Because most of them that actually work in the hotel are locals to the area.
Oh, okay.
So they either, well, they don't necessarily live on Port Canaveral, but they're gonna be just on the other side, but, they have to eat somewhere while they're working, and they still get that lunch or dinner break. So
Hmm.
over the years, we've learned to ask. I mean, like when we hit different Renaissance festivals or conventions, we ask the people that work the front desk, "Hey, where do you eat lunch at all the time?"
Because they're going to know the
And
best places. Yep.
I'm like, I don't want, no, I don't want. I'm not talking McDonald's or whatnot like that.
Yeah.
You know, we have been turned on to so many mom and pops that have been just phenomenal. Um, we got lucky when we went to the Bay Area Renaissance Festival, and now it's like our favorite place to go. And because they moved it from Tampa, and it is
Hmm.
actually in Dade City,
Yeah.
and the guy bought an old plantation, and he also bought some property that's on the edge of, unfortunately, uh, what used to be a dump.
That's right. But it used to be. It's
But
not still.
yeah, it used to be. It's basically it's been repurposed as park material is basically what they do. A lot of those have been turned into parks and recreational areas. And the little motel that we stay at, it's a mom and pop motel. Well, literally the little road behind it, there's a mom and pop barbecue place that we love.
I bet it
You
was
know, just that,
awesome.
that they
Yeah.
recommended, and it was like, oh my god,
I
and
feel
it's
like that's what
free.
traveling is about. Like you want to eat at the local places and
Exactly. I mean, there's a few times here and there that yeah, okay, I'm going to go to the this chain or that chain, because there's a new chain in Florida. I don't know how far down they've gone yet, but it's Gator Dockside. That's really good.
that sounds fun.
Oh, we came across it in was it Orlando area?
Oh.
Yeah, and then they have one in Gainesville. I think they
Hmm.
have two more now. So I'm waiting for them to spread a little more.
Hmm. Cool. Um, I don't know. Does anybody have any questions? I will say, I know I have a question from, it's not in the chat right now, but I had a friend message me just the other day saying, I might be able to come, but I kind of want a room to myself. Is that a possibility?
Yes, there are abilities to do solos, um, but I will let you know that cruise lines always look at everything as two passengers to the room.
Yeah.
So you actually you're going to pay a double fare, but you will not pay port fees and taxes for two people. You only pay port fees for one. So if it is something that you want to do, a single room, it's okay. You can still register. And on that form, just put NA for the rest of the stuff, or you repeat your own name again, and it lets me know that you want to be a solo. And then what I'll do is I actually go into Carnival and find out what the solo rate is, and then I reach back out to.
Okay. So, and I know Carrie put that link in the chat, like way up there somewhere. I wanted to go pin it, but every time I open the chat, all of them, they're all layered on top of each other, so I can't read them anymore. Um, but I know Carrie's got the link somewhere. If you're even like considering it a little bit, I want to make sure that people understand like the form is not you're committed to the cruise and now you must go because you filled out the form. The form
No, because
is
I email everybody.
yeah, the form is just I'm interested in learning more about this. Like not it's not a blood pact, you guys. Like it's
No, it is
okay.
definitely because there is no credit card information on there
Right.
whatsoever. Um, because the banking services that we use, once everybody says yes, that they're okay with it, then I submit for the invoice to be emailed to everybody. So I don't store any credit card numbers.
Right.
Nothing stays with me whatsoever.
Do you want
I
to
don't
talk a
want
little
that.
bit more about I know we've talked about them before, but I think it's important. Can you talk through the payment plan stuff a little bit?
Yes. Um, basically, there are internally we have one called Easy Pay, and that's actually provided through the banking service that I work with. And so it's a digital online service. A couple of you guys have probably gotten back that thank you for your payment, and it says auto books. Auto books is actually tied to, a lot of the business bankings. And it is a service that they offer where they can invoice out people and do monthly payment plans, the whole nine yards. Um, they charge $50 per person to do it, and you can set up where it debits your I think you can do like a through your bank, like almost like a wire transfer, or you can set it up for a credit card payment. Um, and it's paid a couple of months, because for groups, when you do a group on a cruise line, it actually gets paid anywhere from 90 to 120 days before we actually sail.
Hmm.
So, like for us, we've only got a couple more months to finish selling out the last of these cabins because we sell in November. Um, so we would actually have everything has to be done by September because they give us 60 days basically.
Mhm.
um, because it's only a 4-day cruise. Um, the other thing is we have a third-party vendor that a lot of the cruise lines, and hotels and airlines, trains, the whole 9 yards that they work with. It's called Uplift.
Mhm.
And Uplift is a third-party vendor. Don't think that you can't get it, um, because the minimum that they'll do is 6 months. Sometimes it can be up to 18 months to pay it off, which is kind of nice. So it'll give you a smaller payment over a longer period, but you do have a higher financing charge for that from
Mhm.
Uplift. Um, the anyone that wants to do an uplift, it's one of those things that if they want to add an extra comment, they, or I'll email them and say, hey, when are you available? Because it's one of those ones that we do while we're on the phone together. And I actually plug in a little information, then Uplift emails them information that they have to fill out. And then all of a sudden it pops up how much is allowed. That's why I'm like, don't
Okay.
ever say you can't do it. Because sometimes they'll come up and they may give you um half of your half of your cruise, or let's say you want to do your flight and your cruise and your hotel all together.
Mhm.
They may let you put half of it on Uplift and give you 18 months to pay for it, and then the other one, the cruise line is paid a little bit differently, and the hotel you would finish paying off when you're in there. And then, of course, airline, you have to pay them separately too. Um, but then there's some that they actually get it all covered, which is great.
Mhm.
I've had a couple of them that they end up getting the whole thing covered, and we're given 24 months to pay for it.
That's incredible.
So, which is great. I got one for my rain cruise. She's like, April, I should have never found you because now I know where I'm going to be every year. She goes,
Got
I
my
love
vacation
cruising. I
set.
love the Renaissance fairs. And now you put both of them together. She goes, you have me for life.
So when people sign up, is that something that you'll be able to help them with then, like to get those payment
Oh, yeah,
things?
definitely.
Okay, cool. I don't, maybe it's just me, but like whenever people start talking about money and payment, I can feel my eyes start to glaze over and I can just it's not good. I'm not proud of that habit about myself. So when I can have somebody who
Well,
can
no,
like tell me how to do it.
the best thing to say is there are two different payment options. You can pay in full. A lot of people will pay on full on a credit card and just pay it off on their credit card. Then they could do a payment plan through my company, or we can do the third party uplift.
Cool. So there's really
Okay.
options for everybody.
There really is options for everybody. Um, the thing that's nice is this is actually a smaller cruise. The fees are lower,
Mhm.
because it is only a 4-day cruise. When you're
Right.
talking, 5, 7, 8-day, you're looking at more money.
Yeah.
Um, and just to give an example, like our Seahawk cruise, because we have celebrities with us, it costs a little more
Yeah.
because yeah,
That raises your
you've
price.
got
Yeah.
you've got to cover those celebrities.
Yeah.
But and it's all in good fun. I mean, we really enjoy it. And a lot of people don't know that I've actually been behind the scenes with the Renaissance cruise, or
Yeah. A lot of
excuse
people
me,
don't
the
know that.
Rain cruise,
The
the
red
original
cruise.
one,
The original red
since
cruise.
2018.
So it's not like this
And
is your first rodeo or your second or
no,
your third. Like you've been
no,
doing this a while.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was telling people before you hopped on. I was like, April is the pro. So if you have questions, like when people come to me with questions, I'm not answering them. You're answering them through me. Like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the groups have actually, it's kind of funny. I ended up with the nickname of Cruise Mom.
I can see it. I can absolutely see
And
it.
I think a lot of it is because that group had none of them have ever cruised before, and I had half of them seasick.
Oh boy. Oh man.
Yeah, thankfully, I keep a first aid kit.
I was gonna say I saw Starla commented earlier that you really saved her life on a run cruise like a year or two ago.
Yeah, I keep a first aid kit. I mean, so I keep patches. I buy the candies because they actually even make the candy. It's a ginger and
Hmm.
honey candy, and they come in not just ginger and honey, but they also have a citrus base, so there's not as strong as on the ginger. And then they even have mint ones now.
Oh wow.
Um, Dramamine's okay, but it makes you sleepy.
Yeah,
That's one of those ones you have to take it and go to bed, even though it says, yeah, non-drowsy. Yeah,
yeah.
I've
I've
tried the
never.
non-drowsy. It made me sleepy anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So I found that the patches work the best. And if you have any equilibrium problems, if anyone has vertigo, I suggest patches and you change them every 48 hours maximum. And that's just personal experience
Again, the
because
pro.
my first cruise ever, oh, oh, it was actually mine and Randy's anniversary. It was for our 30th wedding anniversary.
Hmm.
And oh my God, we had it was rough. I mean, you girls have been through a couple of the rough storm ones
We
too.
have.
It was so bad that when Randy took me out on the deck to get fresh air and so I could look at the horizon, the whole nine
Hmm.
yards, this little Philippine crew member comes through and she's trying to open the door. She's putting her foot on the other door, trying to open the door because the winds were that bad.
Oh man.
And she kind of crawled through the crack she made. And then all of a
God.
sudden another wind came and just slammed that door shut. I'm going, "Oh God, please tell me she's okay, honey."
Yeah,
He goes,
she didn't
"She's
blow
fine."
away. Uh, yeah, I know. I feel like I need to knock on wood. I've never had to like a very rough experience. It's been a little choppy. I had never been on a cruise before the original Ren cruise in 2022.
2.
I was just about to be like, when was that? Was it 22?
Was it did you
No, it was
give 22?
2023.
No, you went 23.
It was in 23. It was January 2023. I had never been on. I had been on one boat that went between like Ireland and Northern Ireland, and that was like 10 years before. And so I got on this cruise just being like, I hope I don't die. And I had no issues with seasickness at all. I feel like I really need to knock on wood, but like I have yet to have any issues. I've been very, very grateful. Um, it's been great, honestly. I was nervous about the first run cruise because I had never been on a boat before and I really didn't know how it was gonna go, but I had a good time.
In other words, you missed 22 when it was snowing when we came
Yes,
back
I
into
did.
port. That was unusual.
I think that's so perfect though. I mean, it really rubs in the wow, you took a vacation at the right time. Like,
Yeah.
look what you had to come back to. Aren't you glad you went out into the ocean and enjoyed the beautiful weather and uh, yeah, I didn't do that one, which is probably for the best. That was crazy. So,
But I also did the geek boat and that was in November of 22 and we almost got stuck out an extra day and Randy and I are like, come on, we're good. We can stay.
yeah, sure. Put us on the boat another day, whatever.
And the reason for that is there was a hurricane that came
Oh,
into Port Miami.
jeez.
I mean, it was only a cat 1. So for us it is nothing,
Yeah.
but it does make for rough winds and things like that. So they actually stalled us out in the Caribbean Ocean and made us sit for probably what 8 to 12 hours.
Wow.
We got back into port probably about 4 hours later than we were supposed to. Um, but it was fun. I mean, if things like that happen, if there's inclement weather, excuse me, weather on a cruise ship, they actually have enough food to to sustain everybody for an additional week if something was really
Oh,
that
wow.
bad. But I mean, look at COVID. They were floating hospitals
Yeah. Yep.
and they actually stayed out from the ports for 30 days and then they'd come back for them to put more rations on. So a lot of
Mhm.
people don't realize there's that much on the boat when we're on there. And the other thing that's kind of nice is a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, you've got all the food that's being wasted." No,
No.
not really.
I was upset about that too, but that's not what happens.
That's not what happened. Anything that is left over that does not get eaten, if you didn't like something and you just leave it on the table, don't feel bad. Any food is actually put through a processing system and it's actually broken down and turned into fish food.
Mhm.
So it does not go to waste. The fish get fed with it. If it's like the hard bones and stuff from steaks and chickens and stuff, they break that down as much as they can, and then it's compressed into a brick, and then it'll be taken off the ship. And those are some of the things that, people are like, "Oh, you're wasting all that food." But it goes to a good cause.
I mean, yeah, when you think about it, it's like Carnival's not gonna wanna be trucking around pounds and pounds of trash, essentially. Like, they're gonna come up with a
Exactly.
way to get rid of it. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I know. A lot of people don't. It was actually a question that came up. And this is where, a lot of times when we're doing all these themed events, we don't get to experience, and that's what's kind of nice. We're going to do an early dinner. So if you guys want to go do certain things,
Yes.
it works out. Um,
Yes. We have missed the karaoke competition for 2 cruises in a row because we were at dinner, because we had late dinner, and I'm furious because I would have won. I could have won. So that's something that we wanted to do this cruise was to do early dinner so that if anybody wants to go to like a comedy show or I know one night we specifically put on our schedule like pub crawl cruise piano bar takeover like we're all going and we're all going to act a fool. But yeah, we wanted to give people the option to go enjoy the rest of the stuff the boat has too because you didn't just
I
pay to
mean, yeah,
see
they
us, you
they
started paying for the
actually
whole boat.
they do put on a great show.
They
They really
really
do.
do.
Um, they I think they put it on like twice during, well, it's usually in a week cruise. On a 4-day cruise, I'm not sure. It's probably just going to be once. Their big productions usually going to be put on once. They usually do a game show night.
Yeah.
And of course they do bingo. Um, and that's where it come in kind of funny because before bingo actually starts, while they're still selling it, all the tickets and everything, um, Carnival, their activities director will
Hmm.
come out on the stage and kind of entertain people and ask them questions and say, "Hey, is there anything you want to learn about what goes on in cruise life?" And he literally, went over a couple of things and somebody happened to ask the question, what happens to all the food that's left over or wasted that we're not eating? And he goes, it's never wasting.
Yeah, those fish are eating good.
Yeah, he said the fish eat really good and
Yeah.
so there's little quirks here and there, and that's where I get to do those when we do family cruising.
Mhm.
So, and which is kind of fun. And most of the cruise lines do homage to a lot of the veterans, and they'll put on a whole performance for veterans,
Mhm.
and they invite them to come in and stand up for, whatever uh, part of the branch of military that they were. And so we actually went and did that with one of my brother-in-laws because he was Air Force for
Good.
17 years. So it was kind of cool.
That is cool. We went and took because I know they did that the last. I think the last day of the last cruise we were on, and Bunny and Madam and I went and took a bunch of pictures of us with like the great big American flag that they hung up for that day and stuff like that. It was
Uh-huh.
a good day.
And some of
So
the ships actually put on a little mini around the world type thing, and they'll have staff members carrying the flag from the different countries
Ooh.
that they're from. So, that's kind of cool to go see how many different countries are actually on the boat.
Yeah.
And for us, we already know if you pay attention to their name tags, it actually
Mhm.
says where they're from.
Yeah, it's been
So,
cool.
which
It's
is
been cool to get to know, especially like our stewards in the last couple trips that we've taken, like to get to know the different places they're from. And um, it's, I mean, those people are working really, really hard so that we have a good trip. And like that work is well worth it. They do a really, really great job.
they do. Um, and that's where brings up another good point, thinking about our stewards. At the end of every cruise, I mean, we have the option that we can prepay for it.
Hmm.
There is gratuities that we have to pay per person. It's $16 per person. Now, that gratuities, a lot of people don't realize the gratuities that they collect. It goes to the room stewards. It's basically divided amongst all the crew, except for officers. It is the working crew that actually give it, that do all the stuff for us behind the scenes. Even, I mean, we're talking about even the laundry people,
Yeah. Yep.
okay? Because they produce a lot of laundry. Think
They
about
sure
all
do.
those
All the
towels.
sheets and towels.
Oh yeah, and so that money is actually distributed to all of them for doing that work. Um, the other thing that was kind of cool, uh, loved our dining room people even in May, and it was kind of funny because we came across um, one that we had in June last year
Oh, weird.
on a family cruise, and he was like, "Oh my God, Mr. Randy, Miss April,"
Man, I don't understand. I don't
and
know how people remember cruisers like that. It is incredible.
but he's like, "I'm not serving you. I'm sorry." I said,
Aw,
"It's okay. It's okay." But then we ended up with Roberto. Oh my God. He was a hoot. I mean,
uh,
for those that have not been on a cruise, your dining room staff entertain you in between serving you.
they
And
certainly
and that
do.
takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Not to mention your dining room staff also works in the buffet if the dining room's not open. And
Hmm.
and so you don't realize that they're working pretty much around the clock for anywhere from 9 to 11 months total. And yes, they do get days off and time, breaks and all that, but they're there nonstop.
Yeah.
But he put on an afro wig, dancing,
Oh my god.
bopping his head. He come out
Aw.
one day wearing the Spider-Man hood, Spider-Man gloves, dancing. So it was a hoot. I mean, it always brightens your day with some of the stuff and the little quirks that they add in.
It's true, because if
And
like if you've never been on a Carnival cruise, you have the same dining staff every day at your assigned dining room table. So then for
yes,
really improved with time. Because the first trip I was on, the gluten-free bread was terrible. And this last
yeah,
trip, it was
it was
really
actually
good.
really good. And it was good in May as well because I think they got a new recipe in because they also have now found out how to make gluten-free wheat bread.
That's new.
Oh,
That's
it's
exciting.
new. Yeah, so I'm like, it's like a wheat bread, but it's not, so it's still not and I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me." Um, that and it was kinda funny, our waiter in the dining room, there was one night he come around with those cranberry. Yeah, we wouldn't go there.
Oh,
I'm like, "No, thank you, I don't want that. Can you bring me some of the gluten-free
yeah.
bread?"
Yes. I'll take that instead.
I said, "I'll take that instead." They're like,
Please.
"Miss April." I said, "Well, I don't like the bread, but I like the other bread." And
I know what
it's
I
just
like.
it's this cranberry. It's almost like a scone.
Yeah, it's not dinner bread. It's
It's
breakfast
not a
bread.
dinner bread. Um, but everybody else at my table loved it, and they're like, "April, you could have just taken it, and I'll eat it." And I said, "Can you give them mine?" But
There
the
you
other
go.
thing is, you don't be afraid to ask for two.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of the cruise lines now have even gone to, well, there's a couple of them. You can't order 2 entrees at dinner, it's
Mhm.
1, otherwise they charge you like 7 or $10,
Yeah.
just for, but still, that's not bad,
That's really not
and
bad.
it was kinda funny, there's always a night that they do lobster,
Mhm.
and it's usually formal night,
Mhm.
and there's always a steak on the menu, so everybody got smart, and they were ordering lobster and the steak plate and just combined it to one.
Separately ordering surf and turf and just putting it together.
Yeah, because
Makes
it wasn't
sense.
on the menu together, so they ordered
Uh,
individuals and then just put everything on one plate. They were
makes
good.
sense.
They were good.
Um, I see there's a couple questions in here, and they're mostly for Madam, but I'd rather answer them because they're good questions. Madam wants to know if there's any deadline to, like, what would be the deadline to kind of register to still get some usage out of the Easy Pay?
Um,
Kind of as soon as possible, huh?
Probably as soon as possible.
Okay. Because like you said, we'd if you do the Easy Pay, it would need to be paid off by September,
Yep.
but then the
So it
the
would give you
Uplift
like if
one.
you do your we could break it up like if they still want to do it, we could probably break it up into like 3 payments.
Cool.
And that would be something that I could actually reach out to them via email and say, okay, if we break it up into 3 payments, if they want to do the easy pay, here's what your payment plan will be.
Mhm.
Okay. And once they say, yes, we're good with that, then I'll go in and submit for the invoice.
And then what was the other question Madam had? Um, oh, Madam wants to know if you recommend a certain airline if people want to travel to the port on a plane. Like, we're gonna have to drive because we're
Mm.
gonna get all my instruments and stuff down there. But if people want to fly, do you have a airline you recommend?
Um, well, what's nice, but yet not nice, is unfortunately where Port Canaveral is, there's no airport.
Right.
So you have 2 options, and I usually suggest flying into Orlando.
Okay.
And Southwest usually has the best deals. Sometimes you can get JetBlue depending on where you're flying from, but Southwest does fly into Orlando, and I know they do Ohio, Kentucky, and a couple of the other northern areas. Um, and they're actually really good. And 'cause us in Florida, a lot of times we'll hop on JetBlue, and then we have to transfer over to another
I wondered.
airline.
Okay. Hang on. I'm trying to get the link to our form in our chat
But
here.
you will have to figure out if you fly into Orlando, you actually have to you will have to take an hour trip from Orlando, um, over to Port Canaveral.
Okay.
It is approximately an hour. A lot of times you can work it out with a shuttle service, or if you
Mm-hmm.
need help getting a shuttle service for that, please let me know. You can always email, and I can help arrange that. It's not a problem.
And then
Um,
if since we do have a Facebook group just for people who are booked who are getting on the cruise. So if you wanted to as well, you could see if maybe somebody else is flying in roughly the same date and time as you. You want to hitch a ride with them. Um, really want to make sure people use that Facebook group to make their travel lives easier.
oh, definitely. I mean, it is so much easier to connect with other people. Hey, I'm landing at such and such. I mean, there was a couple of times that I got called and said, "Hey, are you already there? Can you come get me?"
Please.
Please. And that happens. So it's not a big deal. But unfortunately, Port Canaveral, that's not super close to an airport. Um, The big airport is Orlando, which is an hour away. Um, there are a couple of smaller, like Daytona has a small, but it's like a municipal airport,
Oh boy.
which is like
Okay.
an hour up from, it's still an hour away,
Yeah.
but you'd be better off going into Orlando because it'll be cheaper than trying to go into the municipal airport.
Yeah. Also way easier to get an Uber from the Orlando airport.
So don't be surprised. Some of the shuttle services, because we found out in even in New Orleans, when we got off the boat, because my children brought my vehicle back and we didn't keep it in port this time. I ended up renting a vehicle to come home. It was cheaper.
I believe it,
And
honestly.
I mean, it saved me about $80. And but we just happened to walk out and there's it's like a limousine service that has shuttle services, and they had the Mercedes vans that would sit like 8 people,
Wow.
and it was like $20 a head to go wherever you needed to go.
Couldn't ask for better.
So it was great. So we had a couple of us went to another hotel because they were staying another night, and Randy
Hmm.
and I had to go to the airport, and so it worked out good.
Madam has another question.
Not a problem.
Um, she wants to know if you have any. So we're especially since we have Madam's pirate pub crawl planned for Nassau. We want to encourage people to use the Bimini port stop for their excursions. And Madam wants to know
Mm.
if you want to recommend any excursions, and she also wants to know if both Bimini and Nassau have a beach close by when you get off the boat.
Oh yeah, both of
Oh
them
yeah,
do.
that's what I figured.
Both of them definitely do, so you will not have a problem there. It's just a matter of, what beach you want to go to. In Bimini, there are quite a few different things you can do. It just depends. You have to pay attention if you guys haven't downloaded and or even looked online. Um, I know there's a couple more that I have to send their actual reservation numbers to.
Hmm.
And take the time and look at what the activity level is. You need to definitely pay attention to that. Okay. We had one time that someone didn't realize that it was going to be that much walking involved, and she had some issues halfway through. And so it slowed the whole tour down, and they didn't quite get to complete everything. So
Mm.
you do need to pay attention to things like that. Things that I love, if you like to go shopping, see if they have, some of the trams
Hmm.
and where you can do the on and off type stuff. There's a couple of places that do that. I'll be honest, I haven't been to Bimini yet myself.
Excellent. Can explore
Well,
together.
quite a few, but Bimini I haven't done yet. Nassau I've done a few times. So Bimini is going to be a new one for me too, and
I
I'm
personally,
I'm okay
I
with
plan
that.
to spend the almost the entire time in Bimini, like on the beach or in the water with my Little Mermaid tail on. That's my personal plan for Bimini. I don't know what anybody else wants to do. I like excursions and stuff like that, but I just want to get off the boat and lay in the sand. That's really just what I want to do.
Well, see, I'm actually a coastal girl. I grew up in Lake Worth area,
Yeah,
so it doesn't bother me if I
yeah.
go to the beach
See,
or not.
I'm
I
in
used to,
Cincinnati and just
we live there.
yeah. See, you're spoiled. I live in Cincinnati and I haven't seen a beach in a long time.
I mean, granted, where I live now, I'm out in the
That's
middle of the
true.
woods. I'm
Yeah.
out in the boonies where I've got bears and all kinds of things. But and I'm like actually an hour from the coast now.
Okay.
So
That's not bad.
it's not bad,
Certainly
which is
closer than
kind of
I am.
nice. I don't have to worry too much about hurricanes either,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
our original reason why we left South Florida, which is where I was born and raised, is we had two hurricanes and had power 2 days in between.
Oh
That was
my
it. I
god.
mean, we probably spent about 60 days total without power between 2 storms in 2004,
Oh man.
and we moved in 2005 to Tallahassee.
I don't blame you. Yeah, I can imagine that being the deal breaker, the straw that broke the camel's back in 2004.
Yeah, but, not necessarily. Tallahassee, if the mag lab's not on, for the engineering department, we have some weird weather. Like, May 10th, we had 3 major tornadoes and
Mhm.
100 microbursts that pretty much destroyed our one of our historic canopy roads.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
Jeez.
so it was crazy. And
Utter
here I was leaving for New Orleans.
Oh, just trying to
Oh,
go on vacation.
oh. No, it was work.
That's true. Well, yeah, sea hunt, vacay work,
It was work.
workation.
Now, this past January was vacation because I didn't have to
Yeah.
work and do anything.
Yes.
And it was my like, and then I've got another one in July that's actually a family reunion based one where we're doing an Alaskan tour.
Oh, that's right. You were
So it's
telling me about that one.
Yeah, so and it's been one that it's a 2-year process that we planned out because it's flights and everything and the transfers and it's like, oh my God, thank God we took that much time.
Yeah, to get it all organized. Well, I don't have any questions or anything else. Last time
Well,
we
I
went live,
will
we
I
kind of.
will go over the fact that I do want to let everybody know, hotel wise, I'm actually signing the contract and I'm going to send it back. It is We have the option that we can, everybody, if they want to show up Saturday, they can. Check-in is not until 4 o'clock.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, and it's 189 a night plus tax. And we have to remember it is a resort hotel, so
Right.
it's not a traditional hotel. So,
Yeah.
we have more things to do.
Yes. We're upping the pre-cruise experience a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really good way to get everything kicked off, and it's nice that we kind of have time to like. I do think we're pretty much going to know everybody on the boat, but anybody who hasn't met each other, it'll be a good time for everybody to kind of get to know each other and recognize faces before we even get on the boat itself. So I think it's going to be awesome.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm pretty happy. I mean, I'm glad you guys decided to do this because I thought
We're
you guys
thrilled
were
that
going to
you
be the
asked
best.
us. We're
I
so
thought you
so
guys were best
excited.
suited for this anyway.
I think pub crawl and sirens I think is like a natural fit, and then
Exactly.
boat and sirens is also natural fit, so it just makes sense. Okay, I don't have anything else for you, April. But now that everybody has met April, now you know who the face is behind InterroBang Compass. Every time I talk about like April, she's so easy to work with. This is who I'm talking about. Now you know her. You got a face to put to the name. She's like obviously very friendly. April will answer your emails. Great on the phone. Like I can't encourage you enough. If you have any other questions and you didn't want to pop on the live or you're at work right now and you couldn't, please feel free to either fill out the form that's in the chat. I linked it once. Madam linked it once. It's in there a couple times. Email April. It's just is it what is it? InterroBang Compass at
Right.
Gmail.
It,
Yeah.
it's a little bit weird. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize that interrobang was actually a punctuation that we used back in the printing press days, before everything changed. But it's INTERROBANG, compass, just like a compass that you hold to look for your directions at gmail.com.
Yes. And if you didn't know what an interrobang was, now you've also learned something today.
Yeah, it's an
We should bring those
exclamation
back, to
point
be
and a
honest.
question mark.
We should bring those
Basically,
back.
it was one of those things that, you know, what do you want to do? Have some excitement, kind of all rolled into one.
Hmm. So Cool. And Carrie's linking a bunch of stuff in there too. So there's April's email and our Facebook. I think it's probably to the Facebook group for the cruise. So if you have any
Awesome.
questions at all, please feel free to reach out to either the people you see on the screen in front of you. I'm so excited for this, and we just really appreciate the both the opportunity, April, and then your hard work that you've put into this already. We really appreciate it.
Hey, you guys have been promoting this like no tomorrow, and this is awesome. I love to see all the little things that you've done, and I try to like everything.
Heck yeah,
And of
like
course,
them and share them.
today we even launched a new one that's gonna
I
sail
saw
out too.
that in January of 25.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
saw that. So
it's crazy,
lots of
but I
good things
kind of
going
like the
on.
themed groups.
It's more fun. It's fun to get on a cruise that feels like that I don't know. I like theme stuff. I was a medieval times fangirl before I even went to a Renaissance festival. You know what I mean? I like a good themed restaurant. I like a themed experience. It's fun. Dang it, it's gonna be a good time.
Well, if you would ask my children our favorite holiday is in our household, Halloween.
Yeah. It's the most creative holiday. It's the one you get to
It
dress
is the
up the
most
most
creative
for.
holiday. You can be anybody or do anything you really want to have some fun
Mhm.
and maybe make some other people smile too. And
Mhm.
that's the way, we try to think about it when we do all these theme groups. And just so other people know, I mean, later on, we're actually going to roll out some family-based ones too.
Cool.
So, which would be kind of cool. Those will run in the summer, unfortunately.
Well, it's when they're on summer break.
Exactly. But, some of the other ones are more adult based, like the
Yeah.
Pep Girl Cruise and the Ring Cruise is still a family based environment, but we kind of up the game by going to a luxury cruise line instead of staying at
Mhm.
Carnival because of the fact of dealing with so many children.
In their
And,
fancy costumes.
and yeah, when people
Yeah.
are wearing their garb and you got someone wearing a $2,000 ball gown, you're like, oh God.
We can't let a little kids mess with you.
So please, 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 there are a few areas that I always stress with people, when it's going to be a simple one, dress down, but still have fun with it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. All right, thank you for joining us, April. Thanks for everybody who watched. I'm gonna go
Thank you
ahead and get us
guys.
out of here. But like I said, if you have any questions, just get in touch. Thank you,
Yep,
April.
I'm here. Thank
Bye.
you. All right, bye.